Outside the Lines first report right now.
A doormat high school football program, some willing youngsters, and a coach who believes in them.
Let's see here. Starting right guard shot, no longer in school. Starting will linebacker shot, no longer in school. Two players fighting right in front of the coach. Starting center arrested. Most coaches, that would be pretty much a career's worth of crap to deal with.
The story of their lives and their season is the subject of an Academy Award-nominated documentary.
Because my guys did lay down. They got hard. Now let's put our mind with our heart and our bodies, and let's finish this thing this year.
We'll speak with the coach and one of the film's directors who lived with these players and coaches for 9 months. Their quest to win, very different from the basketball team at Binghamton University.
I want a win for them. I really want those guys to have a win.
This season, Binghamton is 0-25.
It takes a couple years to recruit, especially with, kind of losing a little bit of traction.
Just 3 years ago, Binghamton had stormed into the NCAA tournament.
Watch what's about to happen in this gym. Get started, Binghamton. You're dancing.
Within months, they were exposed as a corrupt and scandal-ridden program. The road back is steep. Today, Outside the Lines, the quest to win again at Binghamton and the story behind the Oscar-nominated film, Undefeated.
And now, reporting for Outside the Lines, Bob Lee.
Today we will visit a school where the will to win and the taste of some success led to a major scandal in a house cleaning. That is coming up, but we begin at a public high school in North Memphis. Between now and a week from Sunday, that's Oscar Sunday, you may hear a great deal about the Manassas Tigers, their coach Bill Courtney, and the Oscar-nominated documentary Undefeated. We will be meeting Bill in a moment, as well as a producer and a director of this film. But first, a sense of this story, the school, these young men, and this coach.
Let's see here. Starting right guard shot, no longer in school. Starting will linebacker shot, no longer in school. Two players fighting right in front of the coach. Starting center arrested. Most coaches, that would be pretty much a career's worth of crap to deal with. I think that sums up the last 2 weeks for me.
For almost 14 years, we never won a football game.
Oh my God in heaven. Chavis has serious anger issues. Stop. You go over there, Mike.
Montreal is dealing with the death of his father.
When he died, I knew I was on my own.
Number 77, O.C. Brown.
OC's grades wasn't up like they supposed to be.
He's going to lose an opportunity to go do something with his life.
I want them to rise above the inner city knock.
Man open, and he dropped it. Manassas about to fall to 0-1.
Anybody can be a champ. It takes a man to stand up when this thing hits you in the mouth, because it hurts. Everybody says when you get these inner city kids down, they'll lay over and you'll beat them by 40. Not us. You got to believe in yourselves, fellas.
Boy, those guys have taken some beating here.
There's a Manassas player down.
God, I hope we didn't just lose him.
Two things mean most anything to him in the world is his father and football. And we got to make sure we're there for him.
Money, whatever you're going through, I promise you to get better.
This is an unbelievably good opportunity. You're down 20-0. You come back from that, now you're talking about something.
1:03 to go. Season comes to a close for somebody here tonight.
You think football builds character. It does not.
He's going to throw it. He pulls the trigger.
Football reveals character.
This is it! Let's go!
Undefeated opening today in selected theaters across the country. And among the movie's producers, our colleague here at ESPN. You know him as a college football analyst, but this is not his first film. We say good day to Ed Cunningham, and with him one of the film's two directors, Dan Lindsay, and with us on the telephone, the now former coach of Manassas High, Bill Courtney. It is great to have you all here. Ed, what drew you to this project?
Well, it wasn't the football, Bob. I get plenty of that with my job at ESPN, but a guy that I do a lot of work with, Seth Gordon, called me in the spring of 2009 and said, I know these two young directors and this young producer, and they have this great story, and they want to go to Manassas down in Memphis. And at the time, I was a little hesitant, but they went down, they shot some footage, and there's a moment in the footage that lasted into the film, which is one of the characters talking about a turtle. And he was talking about how the outside, it's like a human. The outside is all tough, but inside they're flimsy. And I just knew with their eye and what they were doing that this was not going to be a movie. It was a movie about football, but it wasn't about football. And very happy that we decided to get behind these guys and help support them.
Yeah, the young man is money, and he's one of the central characters we learned to empathize with in that film. Dan, at what point you went down to look at O.C. Brown? Was that the moment, meeting money and learning about his life?
Well, it was meeting Money, meeting some of the other players, and then especially meeting Bill Courtney. When we first looked at doing the film about OC, we had talked to Bill on the phone and thought, wow, this guy's really a character. But it wasn't until we went to Memphis to look at it that we met Bill and kind of saw him and saw how charismatic he was. And and he just told us a lot of anecdotes of things that had happened in the past, and that was when we decided to shift focus and really focus on the team. But we always wanted it to be a very intimate coming-of-age film, so that never changed. And for us, the only way we were going to be able to do that was to move to Memphis, and that's what we did. We lived in Memphis for 9 months and went to every practice, went to school every day. We wanted to be there for everything.
Bill, a couple of guys come in from the West Coast, Hollywood guys. They want to live with you, make a film, basically embed themselves amongst you. Why'd you do it?
Well, initially we didn't obviously think it was going to grow to this scope, and we really thought it'd be a nice record of our last year together and this particular group of kids who committed to the program as freshmen, and it just kind of developed. And when I recognized their consistency and their commitment to it, and the kids did as well, they were able to see a very open version of who we were, because we began to trust them and believe in them and appreciated their consistency, and truly we became friends. And because of that friendship and trust, they were able to catch probably some of the more intimate moments of the season that we had with one another.
It is absolutely riveting. I'll give it an unqualified 5 stars. How do you embed yourself, though, Dan, and insinuate yourself into the background so that people can feel so comfortable around you to capture some of the remarkably honest and raw moments you've caught?
Well, I think for TJ and I, TJ's my directing partner, and for Rich, our producer that was there with us, it was just all about being there every day. You quickly, if you're not making a huge production out of it, we didn't have, we shot the film, we did the sound, and we showed up every day. And so I think quickly the kids and the players and the people even in the community kind of forgot what we were doing. In fact, one of the kids one time at lunch, I was in the cafeteria and I was taking a break from filming, and he goes, "So Dan, who's going to play me in the movie?" And I was like, "What? No, this is the movie. You're in the movie." And so I think that stuff just kind of broke down very quickly, and I think we got very emotionally involved with everyone too, and so we built a relationship that I think is what you see on screen.
And Bob, I think one thing is, I've been at nonfiction films for a little while, and I think the thing that they did so brilliantly was not ask questions, and that's really hard to do. In our business, it is about telling a narrative, and if you don't kind of ask the questions and direct the narrative, maybe not lead it, but direct it a little bit, and these guys didn't do that. They really fly on the wall, sat back, and when we started seeing footage coming out of Memphis, I could watch 15, 20-minute uncut scenes and was riveted, because they just allowed life to unfold in front of the cameras in a way that you rarely see, I think, especially today.
Bill, part of that life is the fact you're not a full-time coach. You're a volunteer coach. You have a business interest, and people will learn this as they watch Undefeated. Why were you, for 6 years, the volunteer head coach at this school?
The best way I can explain it is my first year, 6 years before the movie was filmed, I was trying to earn the guys' trust and respect, and anybody can draw up X's and O's, but until you have their heart, you're not going to have everything they can give you. And I had half of the guys believe it, and the other half are respectful, but not they weren't fully bought in yet. And one of the kids I was closest to, I asked, what's the deal? And he said, just keep doing what you're doing, Coach. And I said, no, come on, talk to me. He said, well, I'll give you real talk, but I don't want to hurt you. And I said, no, tell me. He said, Coach, they're trying to figure out if you're a turkey person or not. And Bob, I looked at him crazy, and I'm sure I cocked my head to the side, and I said, you know, what's a turkey person? And he said, Coach, every Thanksgiving and Christmas, we have folks roll into our neighborhoods in minivans and Suburbans and nice cars, and they drop off turkeys and gifts. And, you know, we take the turkeys and gifts because we don't have them and we need them, but we never see them again. And so, Coach, you know, are they giving those things to us because they care about us, or so they can go out town and tell everybody what nice things they did for us? And he looked me dead in the eyes and he said, so what you doing at night, Coach? And it hit me like a ton of bricks, Bob, and I decided then these kids needed somebody to not love them because of, love them in spite of, and commit to them. And that's when this whole thing turned into 6 years of my life, because I refused to give these kids anything less than 100% commitment, because it was amazing what they could accomplish if they just had a level playing field.
Wow, turkey person. Dan, how emotionally invested and almost overcome by this as you were doing it did you guys become?
I mean, it was incredible. I mean, there's several times that I was openly weeping filming, you know, because we got so close to the guys, and so when they would get good news, it would affect us, or when they got bad news, it would affect us. I mean, there's games that we're filming. If you watch the raw footage, like somebody's, you know, about to score a touchdown and the camera swings out, and you just hear us in the audio going, yes, yes, you know, because we're cheering on the team. I mean, we got so involved, we oftentimes forgot, you know, we were there to do a job.
Ed, what's an offensive lineman going to be doing going to the Oscars a week from Sunday? My gosh. And who are you wearing?
You know, my wife and I just had this battle, but I am going with a vintage. I have no idea what vintage, but I bought it about 10 years ago. Nice. And if you look close on the collar, you can see it's been worn a little bit, but it looks like a kind of mid-century modern. But, you know, my younger brother put it in perspective. I was lucky enough to win a national championship in college at the University of Washington. And he said, yeah, now we got to weigh those two, between winning a national championship and being nominated for an Oscar. It's an incredible honor, and just so lucky to have been a part of this, and so lucky to get to know a guy like Bill, who through all of this is still the same guy he was day one when these guys showed up with cameras.
I'll say too, Bob, you know, for us the nomination really is a testament to the people that we followed and the trust that they gave us. We're not sitting here having this conversation if the people in North Memphis didn't open up to us in the way that they did.
And proving that the coach was not a turkey person, neither were the guys who produced this movie. It is the film is astounding. Ed Cunningham, Dan Lindsay, Bill Courtney, good luck at the Oscars, Coach.
Thanks very much, and thanks for having us, and thanks for your coverage of this and your interest, which it's humbling and appreciated very much.
Well, the film is stunning. And now we move on to a school that's hoping to win just one game this year, and a coach who just hates to lose.